Greetings, fellow humans. Katrina here. Quick disclaimer, I am a professional. I'm not your professional. Nothing I'm about to say should be taken as medical, legal, or otherwise advice. This podcast is purely for education and amusement. That is it. Disclaimer over. So today I thought we'd talk about what I don't know about self-soothing. And I know a little bit about self-soothing because I really like that Marsha Linehan DBT skills handouts and worksheet book. So if you're following along, this is straight out of there. I want to tell you today about a distress tolerance skill with that self-soothing using the five senses: see, hear, touch, taste, smell. I think that's right. I rattled them off pretty quickly there. Try again. See, hear, touch, taste, smell. Those are the five senses. Those are what we're going to look at today. So without any further introduction, here we go. So this is, like I said, from the distress tolerance handouts, number 8. And it says a way to remember the skills is to think of soothing each of your five senses. So we'll start with vision. You can look at the stars at night. You can look at pictures that you like in a book or on your phone. You can buy a beautiful flower or pick one if you're around flowers. You can make space in a pleasing room to look at. You can light a candle and watch the flame. I like to watch it just flicker, and it's pretty meditative. You can set a pretty place at the table using your best things. You can go people watching or window shopping. If you can go somewhere, you might even go to a museum or a shop with beautiful art. Moving on to hearing, you might try listening to soothing or invigorating music. Pay attention to the sounds of nature. So that might be waves, it might be birds or rain, or even just the leaves rustling in the trees. Pay attention to the sounds of the city if you're in the city. That's things like traffic, horns, maybe even some music on the streets. Sometimes people do that. You might sing to your favorite songs. I like throwing on some Lizzo and just dancing around. I don't think you can put on, at least for me, I can't put on Lizzo without smiling. You might learn to play an instrument, and that hearing yourself play can be soothing. You might be mindful of any sounds that come your way, letting them go in one ear and out the other. Moving on to smell, you might try using your favorite soap, shampoo, aftershave, cologne, or lotions, or just try them on in the store. You know how they have those little sample things? You can go around and sniff the different samples. You might burn an incense or light a scented candle. You can open a package of coffee, and if you really like that aroma, just inhale. You might put lemon oil around or try potpourri or eucalyptus oil. You could even sit in a new car and breathe in that smell. Have you ever just gone for a test drive just so you can smell the car? Probably not, but it's something that can be done. You might even boil cinnamon, or you could bake something that smells good, like cookies, or even just smell a flower, smell the roses, right? Or if you want to, just open the window or open the door and smell whatever fresh air there is. Moving on to taste, you might eat some of your favorite foods, of course, in moderation. You might drink your favorite soothing drinks, such as tea, hot chocolate, a latte, or even a smoothie. You might treat yourself to a little dessert. You might sample different flavors in an ice cream store. You know how at um, Baskin Robbins, I think it is. You can try all the different flavors, and then you make your decision after you've tried a few. And you might even try sucking on a piece of peppermint candy or chew your favorite gum. Taste can be a good one, again, just in moderation. Touch. Touch is one that you can do a lot of different things with. You can take a long hot bath or shower. You can pet your dog or cat. You can have a massage. You can massage yourself, or you can like soak your feet in warm water. You can put lotion on your whole body. You can put a cold compress on your forehead. You might sink into a comfortable chair or put on a shirt or a hoodie that has like a really pleasant feel. Do you ever have one of those articles of clothing? If you've ever had one of those articles of clothing that's kind of like a security blanket, it can be really good to put that on. And then there's also taking a drive with the car windows rolled down. You might run your hand along smooth wood or leather. Hugging someone, I don't know if you'll know, but hugging can give you just that little quick oxytocin hit to make you feel good for a little while. You might put clean sheets on the bed or wrap up in a blanket, or just notice any sort of touch that is soothing to you. So those are some ideas for self-soothing through the five senses. And now it is time for the news. No, 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 not the current news, news from a century ago. So this comes from the Washington Times, February 4th, 1922. Thank you to the Library of Congress for keeping all that stuff. So the biggest headline says, net closing around movie Slayer. And then another big one was Japanese homeland left out of treaty. Apparently, there were a lot of objections raised by the United States Senate, and they decided to exclude Japan from the four-power Pacific Treaty. Another headline says, Victor in love suit against dad-in-law. So this one was interesting. This lady won $3,500, charging him with, quote, alienating her husband's affection. She says he threatens to disinherit her husband unless he leaves her, end quote. Yikes, that's no bueno, but good for her, I guess. 3,500 is a lot of money now. Imagine what it was back then. Flipping the page, there's an announcement that says Lincoln Motor Company purchased by Henry Ford. Hey, I know that name. Ford's still around today. I guess that was a pretty good move. Then there's some birth announcements and some death announcements, and of course, marriage announcements. I don't know if we still have those sorts of things in the newspaper today. I'd imagine that we do, but I don't even know a lot of people that read the newspaper anymore, at least not on hard copy. Maybe my in-laws read it hard copy. That's about all I can think of. So a page that stands out was the society section by Jean Elliott. It says, a chronicle of events with sidelights on the men and women who make up Washington's complex and interesting social life. It's basically I don't know, maybe kind of gossip on who's dining with who and various entertainment stuff. And there's even an ad for a silent film drama called Back Pay. I found it on the internet. I'll put the link in the description. So if you want to watch that film, you can. The rest is various advertisements for cars, clothes, stuff like that. There's also some political cartoons, which I guess you need to know the politics of the time to really get. Well, I didn't really get it. I don't know what the politics were like then. Flashing forward to today, in today's news, I think it's all about Russia and Ukraine and then that brutal snowstorm. So that snowstorm is something that we've experienced here in Oklahoma. I think we got like 4 or 5 inches last night. And I don't know if it's done. Hopefully it's done and then it can start to thaw. I do hope everyone is inside and safe and warm. And I really appreciate each and every one of you simply for existing.